convinced that a nonpartisan organization, a voluntary organization which isn't tied to either party or a candidate or even a special interest, has an extremely important role to play in the political process in this country.
Those were the words of the National League of Women Voters president, Julia Stewart, in the 1960s. And more than 50 years later, it's still true.
We believe firmly in the power of women to create a more perfect democracy.
The League was created in 1920, 6 months before women were granted the right to vote.
Certainly we couldn't say the 19th Amendment is ratified, our job is done, and go home. Our job was really just beginning.
As a past National League president herself, Elizabeth McNamara says they're committed to staying nonpartisan.
This is a primary voter guide from September 8th of 1948.
Today, the Georgia League publishes that same guide online.
In an election season, we work so hard to provide nonpartisan, unbiased candidate information so that voters can make up their own minds.
There's also a long tradition of producing an annual Citizens Handbook.
Who your elected officials are, how to contact them.
And yet, as proud as McNamara is that the League of Women Voters work, she also recognizes where it failed to act quickly enough in the 1950s and 60s.
Has the League worked toward the implementation of the civil rights law?
Well, I think there are civil rights overtones very clearly in our new item. Certainly the lack of equal opportunity for education and the lack of equal opportunity for employment. The League was not in a position to take any action on the civil rights legislation.
I think the League is relevant because of that history of perhaps not going far enough, or perhaps of being too timid, perhaps not being entirely on the right side of history when history was being made. Learning from that and moving forward.
By the 1970s, when the National Convention came to Atlanta, she said the tide was changing.
The convention delegates decided under our longstanding position in the area of equal opportunity to support the Equal Rights Amendment.
Today, the League's mission is captured in 4 words: empowering voters, defending democracy.
Expand early voting, make registration easier. At the end of the day, that's what's most important, is making sure that everybody can participate. That's what we were founded to do.